Good morning, Kasturians. In this video, we will continue with the chapter The Three Orders, and in this video, we will discuss about the second order, that is the nobility. So let's start. In the previous video, we have seen the French society, especially the nobles, the clergy, and the peasants, and we have seen the term feudalism. What does it mean to be feudal? Also, we have seen the first order, that is the clergy. So today we will discuss the monks and the monasteries. The devout Christians in the feudal society were known as monks, and they opted to live isolated in contrast to the clergy. These monks, they lived in religious communities which were called abbeys or monasteries, and these monasteries were away from the normal human settlements. The monks, they stayed in the abbey for the rest of their life. They spent their time in worshipping, studying, and performing manual labor work like farming. Their life was different from priests, and they were quite open to both men and women. That is, both men and women can join the monasteries, and the women who joined monasteries, they came to be known as nuns. Most of the abbeys were single sex communities, that is, there were only the men members, or there were only the women or female members, that is nuns. There was separate abbeys for men and women. Like the priests, the monks and nuns, they did not marry. Two well-known monasteries were one established by Saint Benedict in Italy, and another was of Cluny in Burgundy in 910. Christianity as a religion, it influenced most of the European people, but at the same time it didn't forget the old beliefs and other magical forms. Christians and Easter, they became important dates from the 4th century, and they replaced the old pre-Roman festivals which were based on the solar calendar. The Easter day marked the crucifixion of Christ and his rebirth from dead, and it was celebrated on the replaced dates of old festival which were based on lunar calendar. This was a feature. Earlier the festivals were based on solar calendar, but now the festivals, they have changed, and the lunar calendar was replaced by the solar calendar. On arrival of spring, people used to travel around their village lands on that particular day. Holiday or holidays were welcomed by overworked peasants as free days, and they usually spent more time in fun and freedom and feasting rather than performing prayers. Now we will see the second order, that is the nobility. The nobility, it possessed a central role in the social processes. They were having control over the lands, which was the result of an old custom known as vassalage. The nobles or the ministers of kings, they were big landholders, and they used to be vassal of the king, whereas the peasants who worked on their lands of nobles were the vassals of the landowners. In France, the rulers were linked to vassalage. Similarly, the same tradition was followed by Franks in Gaul. According to this tradition, the noble accepted the king as his seigneur or master, or the lord in all matters, and the king had to give a mutual assurance that he would protect the vassals. Under that link, both the seigneur, that is master or king, has to make vows with the Bible in the church. The vassal received a written charter or a staff or even a clod of earth as a symbol of land granted by his lord. The nobles, they enjoyed several privileges. They had judicial powers and even the right to issue the coins by their name. They also had power to raise their own army that was known as the feudal levies. And the noble was lord of each and every person who settled on the land given to lords. The huge tracts of land which he possessed included his residence, his personal fields, his pastures, and the fields of peasant tenants. The house of noble, where the noble used to live, was known as manor, and his the peasants, they cultivated the fields of the nobles. They also worked as cultivators on the fields and as the foot soldiers in time of military need. Now we will see the manorial estate. The lord house was known as the manor house in the feudal society. He would control the peasants' village, which were part of the manorial estates, whether they are in small number, having a few dozen of houses, or a large number of houses, consisting of 50 to 60. The manorial estates, they were self-sufficient economic centers where whatever requirement of daily life was there, it was fulfilled within the estates. The grains were grown in the fields. The blacksmiths and carpenters, they used to maintain the lord's equipments and refurnish the ornaments, whereas the stonemasons, they used to manage the building of the lord. The women, they used to prepare fabrics, and children, they worked in the lord's wine presses. The estate of the lord consisted of the woodlands and forests where the lord used to do hunting, and the estates, they also contained pastures which were used to graze by the livestock of the lord. The church was also a part of the estate, that is, in the estates they can have their own churches, and the castle was the building where the arms were kept for defense, where the knights used to live. In England, the castles were developed as centers of administration later on and military strength under the feudal system. Now, knights. Who were the knights? Knights were the soldiers or persons who were expert in warfare, as there were regular localized wars in Europe and it was not possible to win such wars with amateur peasant soldiers who were having lack of good knowledge of the warfare. Also, a cavalry needs to be required, and this lack of good cavalry has created problems earlier. That's why this new class of people known as knights, it emerged in society, and they were under the control of the lord, who were the subordinates of the kings, which we have already discussed. And the knights, they used to pay his lord customary fee, and he pledged to fight for him in the war, and in return the lords, they granted a piece of land called fief, which was especially given to knights in lieu of his services as their protectorate. The fief of knight could be hereditary, and it varies in size, that is from 1000 to 2000 acres or more than that. depending upon the lord. A knight's fief, it consisted of a house for the knight's family, and the knights they were even allowed to construct a church for themselves along with a watermill and wine press. The peasants they cultivated the land of the fief, and in exchange the knights they paid his lord a regular fee and promised to fight for him in war. A knight could serve more than one lord but remained loyal to his own lord. That's all we have in this video. In the next video we will discuss about the third order. Thank you and have a nice day.